to make sure Nuke can always farm in the lane, and also Millenium won't be able to just extend the games.
Well, here we go then into picks and bans. What are we going to see coming out? First ban actually will be Lulu from Millenium. Interestingly enough, we have seen Lulu, in fact, their last 2 games of the split, both losses against Rocket and SK. Millenium picked Lulu for that mid lane. On the other side, Jax, you said it exactly. They are going to ban that out. Don't want Kevin having that. Zero obviously doesn't want to play it either.
So he might still play the Jax, of course, Zero, but they don't want to risk Millenium first picking it. Millenium could ban away Renekton in the last ban here, then first pick the Jax. Not gonna happen, banned away. Kha'Zix, very, very standard ban against Millenium. Cotton-X, he showed it in the LCS, how strong he is. And it would obviously be the first pick for Millenium if it was let through.
Thresh also was banned out here by Millenium, and we were watching a few NIP games back, and it becomes clear that Mithy is up there with the best Thresh players in Europe.
He is very skilled when it comes to his mechanics, and that's where a champion like Thresh, you can make a lot of big plays on it, of course, with both your Flay, with your hook. So they want to band away, and also it should give a bit of an easier time in the bottom lane for the dual lane here from Millenium, unless, of course, we see lane swaps.
So Irelia was the final ban for Millenium, LeBlanc the final ban for NIP, and interestingly enough, we had Kevin on the analyst desk in last week's playoffs, and he said, you know, Irelia really loves to play as Irelia, but not today, banned out.
And Irelia is such a strong champion. As soon as she gets a few items, she can start split pushing as well. Yes, it's not the same impact as a Jax in the 1v1s, but Irelia can then join in for team fights where she's also very, very strong. So it's a good ban against Zero. He's been playing it quite a lot, especially also in Copenhagen games last week.
And as I said, the LeBlanc taking away a champion that both Nuke and Kerp have played before. First pick, though, let's focus on that because it's Evelynn here. We talked about Cotton-X heavily before the game, how he needs to have a good start. They banned that Kha'Zix away as we thought. He's going with Evelynn this time.
Yeah, we also talked about the early game pressure from the jungler of Millenium. It's the style they used of Vernier. Doing the same thing here with Cotton-X. Evelynn, one of the best junglers early game at providing pressure on the map. She's not necessarily the best in a straight up fight, but just by the fact you got your stealth here, people don't know where you're going, it just puts so much pressure on you. You never really know if you can go in for the fight or if you just have to wait back, because Evelynn could be nearby. It also requires NIP to put some deep wards in around the camps in the jungle of Millenium to see if they can spot this Evelynn. It also makes it harder for NIP in the late game when they want to split push, because Evelynn is very good at joining in on the sides.
So 4 ninjas in Pyjamas here. We see the support locked in Leona with that Thresh banned away. Mithy wanted to get his choice in earlier, as well as Elise, which didn't have to pick at this stage, which may show us that NIP are waiting for a few more Millenium picks before they lock in more important champions.
100%. It gives NIP the chance to counter pick something of Millenium here by just saying, you know what, we take our jungler, we're fine with Elise. Very strong jungler, of course. Some people thought she was going to disappear a little bit here in 4.5. Definitely not the case. Everyone still plays her. Still very, very strong. The Leona lock-in. You don't normally see just an engaged support like Leona being instant locked in here before you see anything else on Millenium side except for the jungler. But it's clearly Mithy showing he wants this champion now that Thresh is banned away.
So then, the next picks for Millenium, Janna and Lucian. So securing that bottom lane. Janna actually a champion which you've seen coming out a little bit more. Fnatic, of course, ran that what I'm going to call a horrible shield comp, certainly to play against, that's for sure. But it will still be the first time that we actually see Jay replaying.
And the thing about Janna is, she's very good in a lane swap, but in a straight up 2v2 bottom lane, she's not very strong in the early levels. She will have issues, no sustain of course, got the shield to rely on, your damage is non-existent, which means if we do get the dual lane here from NIP side, they could apply a lot of pressure onto Millenium. But if we do get the lane swaps instead, Millenium would actually be in a very good position, because also Lucian with his passive getting a double hit onto the turret, so they could push fairly fast. Of course, Elise on the other side from NIP could counter it a little bit.
So for NIP, they locked in Mundo, a typical Zero champion in the top lane, and Draven. Something that Freeze has done here a lot is wait for that Lucian normally to go away and then get himself the Draven afterwards. We know how good he is with that champion.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the best Draven players we have, and one of the few people actually left in Europe who still plays Draven. Very, very strong champion if you snowball the lane here. So as long as he can get his stacks going, get a gank in from Roberto, get a kill onto him, the snowballing will start. Draven will become very, very strong when it comes to single target damage. So when you have Elise, when you have Leona to lock down a target, and then with the single target damage of Draven here, can be very scary for Millenium.
So the other side for Millenium here, Shyvana to go up against Mundo, a matchup which we've seen a collective 3,894 times in the last 3 or 4 months, and also Karthus locked in for Kerp.
So what I like about this Karthus pick is when you're against something like Leona, she want to go in your face. She want to engage onto you. That's where Karthus is perfect, because when NIP then pile onto Millenium, Karthus just sits there. He will die. He's still doing damage to everyone afterwards. So that's what I like about this pick here from Millenium's side. When it comes to straight up pushing turrets or sieging in the late game, they don't really have too good of a lineup with it. I mean, yes, Janna, Lucian can do a lot of it, but Evelynn, of course, she's melee. She needs to go and hit the turret. Karthus is not exactly a tower pushing machine by himself. Where NIP on the other side, with the likes of now Twisted Fate, of course, being locked in for Nuke Dog, very strong at pushing the turrets. We have the range onto Elise, very good at pushing turrets either. Draven, of course, few issues when it comes to pushing the turret, because it can be hard for you if you get the wall by Karthus because you're standing in range of it, and then Millenium can actually engage onto you. Freeze will be in big trouble. So both lineups here, very focused on the small fights, not too much focused on straight up just sieging down a turret like we have seen a lot of here, especially in Europe.
Well, we are going to be seeing teleports run as well in that top lane, which a big factor probably here for Ninjas in Pyjamas, specifically when Nuke Duck hits level 6, means that you can have all of a sudden a 2v2 in bottom, and then it's a 4 versus 2.
Yeah, all of a sudden the TF is there, joining in, giving up an easy kill for NIP, but that's where, of course, the Karthus ultimate is also there, so Millenium can try and turn it around. Both teams focusing on some global.
Well, with both teams here getting into the Rift, and with a spot in the LCS, that's it. I've only been saying it all year long. Up for grabs. Let's check out your votes to see who you think will make the cut. According to LOLesports.com, you've picked Ninjas in Pyjamas by 71%, a big number. But looking at, you know, the reaction on social media and Reddit and the likes, everyone seems to have NIP as favorites here.
Yeah, but it was the same thing at relegation the last time.
True.
And we don't know how NIP will perform on the stage. We don't know when it really counts now. So we need to see. I think the first game can tell a lot about how both these teams come into this. And before that, I don't think we can say who's the favorite.
Well, here we go then, into game. It's the first match of this best of 5 between Millenium and the Ninjas in Pyjamas for a spot in the summer split of the European LCS. And a lot on the line here. We heard it in the videos earlier on. They're basically fighting for their career, for their lifestyle and livelihood. As we get into this one, though, level 1, let's talk about that a little bit here.
Well, TF, of course, is a very good champion level 1. You have your stun. Leona can pick her Q as well, or her E, so they can lock down a target. NIP would be able to set something up with the CC they can bring. And then, of course, Freeze coming in. Quite a lot of single target damage already from the level 1 point. Millenium side, not the best level 1 here. They don't really want a straight up fight, especially Karthus. Yes, he can do quite some single target damage, but when the team is staying together, your damage at level 1 is very low.
Well, we do see that NIP have come in. Millenium have seen that happen in there. The ward was also spotted because of the fact that J-Re was hanging off to the side. So NIP most definitely inside of the Millenium jungle, and it looks like they may head out of this one. Will they look to protect buffs elsewhere across the map, or will they hang around here? If you look at Millenium's positioning, the bottom lane is very much down the bottom lane with 3 in the mid.
Yeah, and I think we need to talk about is the fact that Miffy here decided to start full wards. Pink ward, doubles green ward here, and of course with potion and a mana potion, focusing fully on sustain, no items, and then he just wanted early vision in here. Already one of the wards being cleared away. The pink ward was put down. Millenium went straight in, cleared. Still a ward around the Wraith camp, so NIP will spot out if Evelynn is going around here. Whenever she takes the camp, of course, she pops out of stealth, so you can see here, you got full vision, and now they're going straight towards the blue buff.
Straight in towards blue, and Millenium have already moved back around onto their red buff side, so this is going to be a blue steal from the Ninjas in Pyjamas. 4 members on that top side. We see Cottonex there just getting his red buff, and it doesn't take a genius to realize that he's going to head straight over to the NIP blue now.
Of course, and J-Re is even going with him to make sure this blue buff will go with the Cottonex. They need him for this early game. They need him to get a good start so he can apply pressure on the lanes here. Of course, when it actually comes to compositions early game for both these teams, Karthus versus TF, it's not a lane where you're going to see a lot of kills. It's going to be hard for both of them to actually kill each other here, but they can farm really well, both of them. Make sure they get very strong, and then can start either porting around, of course, popping the ultimate from Karthus to help the other lanes, or fast rotate around for pushes.
So this is interesting now, and we can talk about how the meta has evolved to this very style that Millenium are pulling off. They bring their jungler and their top laner into the action, and they're going to try and fast push down this bottom outer turret. However, Ninjas in Pyjamas haven't reacted to this one in the usual way, which is an exact mirror on the other side of the map.
Ninjas in Pyjamas is very, very slow. The thing Millenium did was they instant push up the wave, so they didn't build up this big wave we see up in the top lane for NIP. Now they're gonna have multiple waves coming towards the turret. It means it's easier for this turret here to clear the wave, but Millenium gets a lot of damage onto it. Roberto now joining in, Sword Zero of course staying in the bottom lane, so let's see who's gonna be the fastest here. Millenium, very good start though.
Yeah, that turret gonna go down here first of all. That'll be the first one of the game coming in for Millenium. The question is, do they keep pushing here, or what is the answer? Kevin is already headed up towards his top tower, which also has a decent wave of minions. Another one coming in there, so that turret is going to be going down. It'll leave us tied in towers at this early stage, but if you look at the minimap, you can see that Millenium aren't stopping in the bottom lane.
And that's why NIP, they're just going to recall instantly. The wave here is coming towards the turret. Sora Zero is level 2, so they won't be able to just straight up dive him, and he can try and at least clear a few minions, try and get some CS, and then NIP now, Roberto coming down. Miffy actually stopped his recall, started it again now, but Roberto coming down to defend. Millenium, they know they're already backing away from NIP's side, so you see Codnex moving into the jungle. They're just going to trade 1-for-1.
1-for-1 trade, and let's have a look then at the quiet area of the map as it has been in that mid lane. Of course, Kerp on Karthus versus Nukeduck on Twisted Fate. The CS there very much level, going to be farm heavy this early game.
And I like this Ghost flashy on Nukeduck. It's something we've seen over in OGN quite a lot. It means you're so mobile as TF, and when you actually gank here, you can chase. You can just get your gold card, stun him, pop your Ghost, get the next one. It's so hard to get away. It's so much CC you can bring as this TF. So I like this setup. And also, if he decides to split push late game, but doesn't really want to fight, it's going to help him escape, teleport somewhere else, and maybe get a turret for NIP.
Also seeing the top laners return to a 1v1 scenario, actually coming out really level after that start as well. We did see the Doran's Blade start for Kevin, Doran's Shield for Zoro Zero on Dr. Mundo, and they're just going to be farming up that lane as we would expect. It also, of course, brings us back to a duo on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, and we need to see how both teams will handle this one. There's obviously a big wave coming down for NIP. They could send down Roberto to try and force Millenium away from the tower once the wave actually hits in there. Try and deny them some CS. And you see Freeze already here. Level ahead of Creaton, forcing him away, trying to deny some XP from him. But a big wave coming in. Roberto is going to recall, so he won't join in with the dual lane.
That will bring the CS total a little bit more even. We can see that both Creaton and Jerry very, very nervous about stepping too far out into this one and end up getting caught by Mythion Leona. We've seen him time after time crafting these first blood opportunities for Ninjas in Pyjamas. They did that in the playoffs as well. Now that wave goes through to the turret, a bit more of a relaxed farm time for Millenium there.
And we also need to see how Jerry, once we actually come to the team fights here, how he decides to use his ultimate. What he can do is when Miffy actually engages in, he can pop his ultimate between Miffy and the team, leave Miffy all alone in the middle of Millenium, and the rest of NIP shot far away, and that's an easy kill for them to turn everything around. Or he can just try and shoot Miffy away with the rest of the team, completely disengaged from Millenium's side with this Janna pick.
Should mention as well that Twisted Fate has in fact hit level 6 now. I believe Kerp will be there as well, so those two global ultimates, it was what we can call Nukeduck. Basically a global ultimate, obviously being able to use that Destiny to teleport around the map. And Kerp will also have the Requiem as well. So we'll see if they come into play. 6.5 minutes in, we can see that the gold lead is currently in favor of the Ninjas in Pyjamas. Still very slim lead at this stage though.
Very, very slim. Just Sora Zero actually pulling ahead in farm up in the top lane here. Dr. Mundo is not the best laner, same goes for Shyvana though. Both of them really want to get to this late game point where they can start split pushing, but also team fight really well. Kevin though needs to be careful he doesn't fall too far behind. He's only level 4 to the level 6 here, but a very big wave coming in for him.
Yeah, I was going to say that's almost the thing about that Dr. Mundo isn't so strong there, but he's doing very well at this point.
Yeah, and look at this here. Roberto moving over here because one, they expect a gank onto Zoro Zero, so he wants to join in. At the same time, they can also, if the wave hits the turret here, with Nukeduck coming in, with Roberto, try and deny the entire wave from Kevin. Seems though they changed their mind and go towards this blue buff. Easy pickup. Kevin is forced to stay at his own tower because of the big wave. He can't lose out on this XP now.
And of course, that is what happened at the start of the game. Ninjas in Pyjamas took the blue buff away from Millenium, and CottonX went over to the bottom side of NIP's jungle and did exactly the same. Not sure they're going to be able to do that this time around, though. We see there's a ward on blue. Leona is coming up to ward around the ramp area, which means they're going to get... obviously, it's an Evelyn, so normal ward's not going to spawn, but now they see CottonX's position. Good ward from Mithy.
The thing we talked about in Champ Select, against Evelyn, you need these deep wards in here because you're going to spot her at the camps every single time. And look at the wards from NIP in the jungle of Millenium here. So many deep wards. They're going to see CottonX every single time, and that's why they can just continue to push up to all the lanes here. Roberto, though, giving all the blue buff to Nuke. So 2 blue buffs for NIP. Curb needs to just farm without it, but he's Carthus, he can survive it.
Well, be all right with that one, I think. Still not seen either Carthus or Twisted Fate getting too involved yet using those ultimates, but then again, we've not really seen much action across the map, as there's that ward you were talking about earlier by the white. CottonX here is going to get spotted by Zorozero. There's no one to really back him up. Zorozero not going to have massive damage, but here comes Twisted Fate. Flash used by CottonX.
CottonX really needs to be careful moving around the jungle here because of all the wards from NIP. If he, as we just saw here, down to like 50%. Boom, instant ultimate from Nuke. Want to try and kill him. Forced the flash this time, but they also got the ultimate from Nuke. So Millenium now, with the ultimate here from Curb, could actually try and set something up.
Well, let's see, down on the bottom side, actually, bottom lane has in fact not recalled, but pulled back a little bit with that tower being down and the wave already pushing out. And to take those golems, every little bit counts here for Creatine. He's 74 to 66 CS behind. Actually, I was going to say there must be a lot of gold there for Freeze. He's sat on 1,600 gold, 1,000 gold to spend for Creatine as well.
Yeah, so Freeze is farming up for the BF sword here. Once he goes back, rejoins the lane, that's where we can see the action start from NIP side, because that's where Draven really starts to hurt. Of course, though, Jerry should be hitting level 6 very, very soon. And once he got that, he can always disengage, but for now, he's only level 5.
Is this an opportunity for NIP? There's a ward in that brush, so they will have vision of Mithy. Let's not forget that tower is, in fact, still there for Millenium.
Yep.
So that's going to be a push down. And CottonX already starting to move in. Good timing as well, because Alberto is on his way down.
So he spot Alberto here. Actually sneaked out. Alberto doesn't know CottonX is nearby, still in stealth. They're moving towards the dragon, though, for NIP side here. Could just be to ping it, clear the wards here. Of course, Elise is very strong at the early objectives. Actually decided to ping all the way up here. It's very standard, because you can see CottonX move around with the small bush here in the river, but they won't be able to clear at least the dragon area.
This could be an opportunity for Millenium, though. The recall spotted, and yeah, they're going to go for this one.
I mean, they saw 2 members from NIP recall. Alberto's the only guy here. Nuke, no ultimate yet, but actually Alberto's enough to scare them away. They do, however, get the pink ward. Second one they actually take away from NIP very, very fast, so that's 200 gold wasted.
Nicely done. We see the sweeper coming out here for Alberto. Actually, they've got 3 very early sweepers here, have NIP. Want to get those wards taken away as much as possible, have that dominance over the game that they've done a fantastic job of so far. And look at this, Ninjas in Pyjamas coming back down towards the dragon after recalling earlier and stopping Millenium's attempt on it. They're going to get this one for free. There's no one around there for Millenium.
So, due to the fact Millenium first spotted NIP recall, they went towards the dragon, but because Alberto was there to stop them, or well, because they got scared of Alberto with the 4 members at the dragon, they backed away, and then they had to recall, because the bottom lane, they didn't recall yet. Curb didn't recall yet. So NIP knew it was about this time they would have to recall, and with the 4 members returning from base, they could just go straight towards the dragon. Even though there was a ward in the pit, didn't do anything.
Have a look down some items here as that pressure comes in from NIP. The Rod of Ages is done there for Curb, buying that outright. Athene's Unholy Grail on the other side for Nuke, but this tower is going so very quickly. Mithy's going to join in, but I'm not sure that it's even needed. Curb is going to be coming around, but it's going to be too late. That tower is going to go down. CottonX was there as well, just a little bit too slow. And again, NIP just capitalizing on that completely, as Free's going to get pushed, but again, Draven just knocks him away.
Knocks him away, but very strong combination from NIP with both Elise and Twisted Fate to take these towers down as soon as there's a chance. Both of them doing really well on getting the towers down. So good move here. And it all falls back to the fact Millenium, instead of recalling when NIP recalled, went towards the dragon and then backed away from it again. So they gave the dragon, and then also the very obvious recalls that NIP just took full advantage of.
And we said it in the pre-game, NIP are very methodical when it comes to these objectives, and so far that's pretty much what they've concentrated on, just as we expected. We heard from both teams coming into this game that they were almost coming in blind because they've not been scrimming each other, they've not been really seen, or certainly Millenium have not been seen since the end of that summer split, spring split, as Nuke here just getting a little bit caught out. Actually will not be chased down, they don't go in for him.
But again, NIP moving in towards the blue buff, timer on it from this. They took it the first time, took it the second time, get it the third time here as well. And again, look in the jungle of Millenium. Everything is warded. There's no way you can move in this jungle, even as Evelyn, without being spotted out. Unless, of course, you don't do a single camp. Nuke, though, going towards Codnex.
Gonna throw in the Ghost, and there is a Cocoon landing as well. Have they got enough damage? There's the Axis coming over from Draven, and it's Alberto that picks up the first kill. Can he get Kerp here as well? Exhaust goes on to Nuke, where he's flashed away. Janna comes around the side. It is gonna be a kill. Kevin has teleported down, but is he gonna have enough damage here? The Requiem comes down, but it's not enough to get one back.
So NIP used the full advantage of the map here. They had full vision of Codnex, popped the Ghost from Nuke, started the fight here. They were not afraid of Kerp at all. He even tried to flash in and exhaust onto Nuke. He just flashed away, and then the rest of NIP joined in. Both top laners are here. Both had to use the teleport, but nothing happened with them.
And look at this NIP, thanks to those wards you mentioned earlier on, so very deep in the Millenium jungle. Even though the entire Millenium team was there, they had vision of them moving away, and they were able to come back around, steal away another buff from Millenium, and then simply walk back on out.
And they're just taking full advantage of the fact that every single lane, NIP, they have the pressure. Top lane, Sword Zero's been pushing down all the time. Kevin actually got it back in CS now, but they've just been building up these big waves for each other. A big wave is coming towards Zoro Zero now once he returns. Bottom lane wise, we've seen Kratos and G stay very far back for a long time. And then mid lane, of course, Kerp just been farming away, being denied these blue buffs, hard for him to go aggressive. So NIP, because they had full control of the lanes, and because of, again, the recall from Millenium before, they could just go and get all these wards, find the teamfight they wanted, pick up 2 kills.
And I want to go back as well to what we talked on in the pre-game in terms of Continex and Kerp having to shut down Nuke in that mid lane. Continex having to have an impact on the game, really. And one thing that that NIP have done so well to keep him out are those deep wards. He's not really had a chance to do anything so far.
No, they fully respected him and said, we want to invest so much money into wards so we can just full vision. But Continex coming towards mid lane here.
And there is Alberto as well. Actually, Continex just sidestepping the Cocoon. In the end, not too much happening from that one. Nuke did take a little bit of damage on the way through. Ninjas in Pyjamas did bring Mithy up to that mid lane just to make sure that there was no push coming in onto this mid turret. But look what we have here. 3 men in the middle lane, Draven down the bottom, Dr. Mundo on the top side of the map, Millenium trying to steal away as much jungle as they can and push this lane out as fast as possible, but not able to do it. Twisted Fate in this scenario as that minion wave is coming up with this wild card just cleared out so quick. Yeah,
Twisted Fate is going to be the wave clear for NIP. Of course, Elise brings some wave clear, but he's actually teleporting towards Kerp.
Yeah, straight in on top of him there. I'm not sure that this is the best idea, or maybe now it is with Alberto and Mithy coming across. There is a solar flare, sidestep, but he doesn't get away from the Zenith Blade. There's another stun coming down. Kevin's going to ulti over onto Nuke, but they get the stun onto him. Kevin going to go low from this one. Have they got the damage to finish off? Not really. And Alberto is low here as well. He has to be very careful. There's a Draven ultimate, not quite going to get over in time. In the end, it's a 1-for-1 with both mid laners going down.
And the coordination here from NIP was a little bit off. Mithy actually already moved away from the mid lane when Nuke then teleported into the face of Kerp, so he couldn't join in instantly. Also, I believe there was actually a red card from Nuke. He didn't actually stun Kerp here, so it took a lot of damage for it. And then Millenium then, with Codnex, with Kevin, managed to turn it around and trade 1-for-1.
Codnex and Kevin on this top side of the map. Zoro Zero farming up an absolute storm now. 140 to 96 CS, doing a very, very good job of that. Already got his Giant's belt in there, a chain vest and the cloak as well. So we'll see how he decides to first of all build. Looking like it's going to be Sunfire Cape first of all on that one for him. Meanwhile, they're clearing out towards Dragon. Look at the timer, 15 seconds until that comes up. Another pink ward down, that'll spot the only ward that's giving Millenium vision of the Dragon.
Millenium, though, this time actually recalled before, and then they need to rush towards this Dragon if they want to have a chance of stopping NIP from doing it. Both Mithy and Freeze are nearby. Nuke and Alberto already in position. It is already pinged. Gerrido will get vision, but the rest of Millenium, they're not in position to stop NIP at all.
Not particularly trying to get in there from the side and throwing in those Howling Gales, but it will be smited down there for Alberto, and that It's a second dragon for Ninjas in Pyjamas. Their game, you have to say, going completely to plan at this stage.
Very much to plan indeed. I think the Carver's pick actually surprised him a little bit though from Curve. It's not a champion I would expected him to play. I thought he would play more of a lane bully here and try and shut down Nukedog, but instead he focuses more on the teamfight and the late game. Freeze though, going aggressive with the Kraton. Kraton winning the trade however.
And then backing off as Smithy comes around the side. Scared of that Leona diving in pretty tanky already. Is Smithy there, does have his ultimate available for that one as well. Should mention something we didn't touch on earlier on, the duo lane of Millenium, both running summon a heal at this stage. But we can see Smithy going in, he's actually going to land the Zenith Blade. There is his ultimate as well, but Twisted Fate is going to join the party. That's a good knockback from the Monsoon, but I'm not sure it's enough to keep them up. That's a great Howling Gale. But we are going to see Nukedog coming around the side. He's picked the right card, flashes in, Creator going to go down. Jerry should be able to get away from this one, but that's another kill for NIP.
And right here you see the reason for Ghost Flash. So mobile, he can chase afterwards. Good knockback though from Jerry, disengaging everything. Sadly though, both summoners were ready for Nukedog. Chase up towards Creator, had to use both Flash and heal before.
Strong lead for the Ninjas in Pyjamas, 6,000 gold. They're currently stood on, and look at this. This amazing objective control, or the buff control I want to really point out, because Millenium have not really had buffs for this entire game.
Only Codnex getting the double for level 1. They are now just been denied everything, of course. Curb wants to get the blue off in the mid lane. Nope, every single time. Also because look in the top lane here. Oh, Codnex has been caught out.
He is bitten off far too much than he can chew at this stage. Nukedog comes in, all the pain goes down, and that will stop them chasing on through from that. But they do get themselves another buff stolen away here from Cottonex once more.
And once again, they get the deep wards in here. But as I was trying to say, look at the top lane. Every single time Zoro is in his lane, he pushes Kevin all the way down to the tower. It means NIP can always roam between mid lane and top lane if they want to. And of course, if Connect goes into gank, they will spot him out and try and do something else on the map. Zoro though, he will actually be caught out here. Jerry joining in as well.
They got enough damage to kill off the Dr. Mundo though. He's not got his ultimate available here. They are going to chase over the top. He's looking for the flash away, finds it as well. And again, just drawing so much pressure up to this top side. You see 4 men on that top side of the map. They weren't able to do anything with that pressure. And actually, Millenium finally got a blue buff as well.
And that's actually why it was not the ideal time for Zoro to be so far up, because NIP had recalled after the red buff, so they couldn't put any pressure elsewhere on the map. So Zoro actually just gave up his flash for pretty much nothing, because he overextended while the rest of NIP was in the base. It's very important when you split push, you make sure you only overextend, apply pressure when the rest of your team is in a position to do something in the mid lane or in the bottom lane.
Let's have a look at that bottom lane and the items that we have currently. Decent little CS lead for Freeze, 3 assists to his name as well. Bloodthirster and 2 parts of that Infinity Edge as well coming out with the Crit Cloak and the BF Sword. Other side, we see that Creaton picked himself up the Zeal on top of his Bloodthirster.
So if Freeze is going to go with his standard build, it's going to be after Bloodthirster already completed, then the Infinity Edge, and then he's going to go Last Whisper. So he doesn't actually invest into attack speed, just goes full on. High amount of attack damage, hit you in the face, crit you for 1,000, and you're gonna die. That's the way he's gonna go with this, and it fits really well with the comp. Again, Cocoon from Elise, of course, the stun from Nukedog here onto a single target, Miffy locking down a target. Whoever they actually catch out here, when you build this Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, Bloodthirster, you're just gonna have so much damage. But look here, Nukedog moving towards the bottom lane. Will they try and set something up?
Connect's actually inside of the brush, but there is Destiny gonna be popped. Can they get in on top of them for this one?
Well.
Twisted Fate is coming down from this bottom side. There is Zoro. They get the slow and the stun onto Connect. He won't be able to escape this. He gets a good shield from his ultimate, but Zoro right in the middle of them as a whirling death comes through. Exhaust on Creaton as well. His freeze and flashes through together. 1 kill. Kurb's gonna go down here as well. And the Ninjas in Pyjamas pick up 3 kills. Will the ultimate be enough to finish off? Yes, it will. It actually gets Nukedog in the end. So it's a 4-for-1 for the Ninjas.
4-for-1. Very, very strong setup here. Using, again, the teleport and the Twisted Fate, the double global they got here to come down. And just as soon as Millenium was overextended, pile onto them, get the kill. Kevin, though, gets a turret up here in the top lane. NIP don't get the second.
Yeah, I was going to say the trade not really on Millennium's side, but something I suppose for nothing by the end of that one. Interesting enough, Kevin decided not to come down. Here's the replay of that one once again. Nukeduck trying to get in. There's this teleport from Zoro0 to control the other two that was amazing. The
D ward from before when they got the kills, got into the red buff, is the one you can teleport to, and from here on and out, this single target stuns and then the damage from Freeze coming in, getting a lot of extra gold from his passive as well. Curb tries to join in, it's too late, he's just gonna go down as well. Nukeduck though, someone has to die.
Well, that one tower hit certainly didn't help his cause. Maybe if that would have not landed, Requiem wouldn't have been enough to finish off. But either way, that leaves us at a 9,000 gold advantage for NIP, 4-2 on turrets. And the next objective is coming up here very shortly. Dragon in just 20 seconds time. Alberto actually might be getting a little bit caught out. There's a Dragon's Descent from Kevin. That's some good damage from the side. Alberto trying his best to run away. Great solar flare from Miffy. Catches 3 of them and stops them chasing for the kill.
Very, very good ultimate from Miffy. Nukeduck though staying aggressive here, getting some damage onto Curb. And Curb, he's been doing a very good job farming-wise here. He's gonna become very, very strong, but he might not get strong enough in time because NIP is putting so much pressure on the map because they're so far ahead already. And also with this Leona pick here, with the TF, they can always engage the fight if they want to.
Get themselves a blue buff, but that will be spiked away by Cottonex. That's 2 in a row. I think the best run of picking up their own blue buff that Millennium have actually had so far in this game. Did move in for that one, but weren't able to get anything. We see that the Infinity Edge, while we're looking at Freeze, is down. He's got the pickaxe and the longsword, so Last Whisper's coming soon.
On his first kill, he received 1,020 gold from his passive here, because he's just been farming the entire time. Obviously, the second one only gave like 60 gold, but still, the first one gave over 1,000 gold to him from his Adoration stacks, meaning, of course, Infinity Edge, very soon the Last Whisper as well. So he's single target damage. If you get stunned by someone from NIP's side here, you're gonna get chunked. Big time.
Yep, had Miffy there. They had a ward in the brush. They knew that Cornex was there, and Miffy's just having a little bit of a dance, just to try and divert the attention away from the red buff, which NIP once again were able to get over and steal. I want to look at this top lane once again because Zoro0 has done nothing but pressure this top lane. Look at the level difference that he has in there as well. He's doing big damage actually on towards Kevin, who's gonna have to back away. That leaves this turret, which is already low, open to things as Cornex gonna get caught out. He's not gonna escape that one. They pile on once again.
Every single ultimate from Nukeduck, apart from the very first one where they only got a flash from Cornex, gave kills to NIP. Zoro0, also due to no pressure from Cottonex, no pressure from Kevin actually, just been dominating his lane, pushing it down every single time. And in the dual lane, they stayed passive until that the teleport from Nukeduck. Then they started something for Curb. Coming in here, early Sonya's here, didn't even take a hit yet.
Take a hit, but he's going to take it once that Zonya's actually wears out. Baron is still up. Curb is going to go down. They've done good damage, but the Requiem is going to come in. Will Zoro0 fall at the top? No, he won't. NIP getting low. Nukeduck will surely go down. No, he gets the flash off, and that allows him just about to get away. Zoro0 actually going to throw his ultimate on here to get that good regen out. In the end, it's a very prolonged fight, but one that only ends in one single kill.
And a bit of an aggressive Baron call from NIP. They got the kill onto the jungle, of course. There wouldn't be any smite from Millennium, but the rest of them were actually there. They could join in. We saw Curb coming in as the first guy. Almost picking up some kills here, only the guy to actually go down. Stop the Baron as well from NIP's side here. So a little bit of an aggressive play, but that's obviously very different from the NIP we saw back at the last relegation where they would just play so safe. So I like the more aggressive style here, even though it was maybe a little bit too aggressive this time around.
We've got still a bit of room to play with, though, I think we can safely say. I want to talk about Nukeduck and his build here, picking up that Lich Bane now. Also got Distortion on his Sorcerer shoes, so that Flash and Ghost are going to be even more effective for him. And of course, extra movement speed from the Lich Bane as well.
It's just mobility on mobility, utility. I mean, once he pours down on your face, you're not going to run away from him. He's so fast, he will always be able to catch on to you. Again, Distortion here in 4.5. Once you pop the Ghost, even better now. Once you flashes, I believe it's like 1 second speed up or 2 seconds speed up as well afterwards. So you're just going to be so fast at catching on to these targets here. And that's where NIP, as long as Zoro0 can split push in one lane and they can pressure elsewhere, then Nukeduck can find opportunities to join in on the side lanes, set something up. And if someone from Millennium is overextended, he's going to be caught.
And let's not forget the Distortion gives you 20% extra cooldown
of course on
your Flash and Ghost as well. So overall, pretty good build there from Nukeduck, and he's currently sat at 6-2-3, so having definitely a good game as Ninjas in Pyjamas once again move towards the Baron area. There is a ward there though for Millenium, so they're going to have full vision of the Ninjas in Pyjamas moving in.
And NIP actually, they do start the Baron here. Millenium are going to come out here very, very fast. Of course they're going to spot them, but still, being caught here in the pit against the Carpus is not a good idea from NIP's side. And they don't even have to start this Baron, they could actually just a split pushed around. But let's see here, Millenium coming in for the fight.
Are they going to go in? Yes they are. Kerb going to get Doe onto, he pops his Zhonya's very early on, and then flashes into the rest of the NIP team. He gets his first kill on this one. Mid is going to go down. Oh, Berto dies as well. This is a great fight for Millenium so far. A 3-for-1. Zoro still chasing, and Nukeduck is chasing down J-Ree inside of the Baron pit. They get that kill, and Zoro, I tell you what, he's tanky enough, and he's got decent damage here. He may be able to pick up another one onto Cotton X. He will get that kill, and now Nukeduck is tracking around the other side, ghosting in for this one. Is he going to be able to get the stun down? He's very close to being in range there onto Kevin, and there it is, plus the teleport from the back. Kevin's going to fall here in just a second, and what looked like a great start to the fight
again,
for Millenium. Ninjas in Pyjamas get the ace and turn again to Baron with just 2 men.
So Zoro's ultimate is going to be ready soon, meaning he can tank the Baron here, doing a lot of damage with Nukeduck as well. Roberto rushing in with the rest of the team to try and help them out here. Ultimate needs to be ready very soon. Also, Zero, you're dropping very low from this.
Probably a little
Kerb's
bit
ultimate is up. Kerb's ultimate.
Yeah, Requiem coming in. He's got enough regen, I think, from this one. Though. In fact, Nukeduck doesn't even go down, and that will be the Baron continued and finished off here for the Ninjas in Pyjamas.
But the ultimate from Zoro just came up in time here. Delayed it by 2 more seconds, and the ultimate from Kerb would have killed him here together with Nukeduck because Baron would just sit blasted towards Nukeduck. That was very, very clutch.
Clutch stuff, and Millenium actually looking to maybe get something back from all of this that's gone wrong for them. 15-5 behind on kills. Gold lead is very much so in Ninjas in Pyjamas' favor, but they do get their 3rd turret of the game there, taking down that middle outer turret. It leaves them though 13,500 gold behind.
Yeah. But we talked about how the Baron call was still a bit of a... Again, it's a bit too over-aggressive from NIP, because the fight actually went in favor of Millenium from the start. Then Nukeduck, though, stayed in the back, and Zero was so tanky because he's so far ahead of Kevin. He stayed alive. So they managed to win out the fight here, but it was way too close for the gold lead NIP got here. They didn't have to go for the Baron. Good response by Millenium, coming in, picking up some kills. Kerb now with 3 kills and on border farm here. He can still become very dangerous once he gets to death cap.
Yeah, Rod of Ages is done for him. Went Zhonya's second. We've seen him already pop in that in a couple of fights, and has an large rod as he works up towards that Rabadon's death cap. But Zoro, you have to say, almost 100 CS in front. Actually, they're going to step forward from this one. Twisted Fate actually doesn't follow his destiny through. Nukeduck here will stay down the bottom lane.
There's no Zhonya's Hourglass onto Nukeduck here, so he can just engage in the fight. If he had the Zhonya's, he would jump in the face of Millenium, pop it in as soon as he pops in, as soon as he stuns a target, and then they wouldn't be able to kill him, and that could be the engage from NIP here. But because he didn't have it, because maybe he wasn't in range to start something, he decided not to pour it in. Ultimate gone, but NIP though got the tower, and now they're staying and pushing all the lanes. Actually, no, Nukeduck joining in here, 5 members in mid.
Gonna come up mid. Kevin is still down on that bottom side. It's Zoro that has to tank stuff up. He's pretty much 27 health every tick here without his ultimate running, so that is a lot of regen coming in as Kerb gets caught by the wild card there at the back. He goes low, gonna be forced to now back away. Whirling Death comes around the backside, and they force themselves in on that inhib turret. The inhibitor can't be defended realistically here from Millenium.
Full attack damage Draven. And TF was so fed with the Lich Bane as well. You take turrets down instantly as soon as you get a chance. They forced Millenium away just a few seconds onto the tower, and it was gone from NIP's side here. Look at Freeze as well. I mean, if he hits you in the face, if he hits J-Ree in the face here, he's going to take like 85% on a crit.
If that crit does land onto you, you can get a little bit lucky and avoid maybe 1 or 2 crits in there, but generally he's going to win out anyway. Another red buff going over. I don't think they've had any red buff since maybe the second one. actually here. Millenium. 0-0, I'd like to say gets caught out, but he is so ridiculously tanky. You can see him sticking onto Cornex. There they land the Solar Flare as well. Cornex actually throwing his ulti down to get that shield and stay healthy enough, but NIP just forcing them straight back into their base.
Nukdog is all the way up in the top lane. He won't be able to join with his ultimate in case Millenium wants to engage here. This could be the time for them. They just tried. It didn't work. The ultimate Cornex is gone. That's the main part of the engage here. So NIP feeling safe, just staying around, applying pressure while Nukdog pushes down the top lane.
Just going to try and force someone from Millenium to come away. 4 versus 5, you have to feel that even then it might not be in favor. Yeah, that is just a lot of damage from Freeze coming out. There was the turret taken down by Nukdog in the top lane. Is he going to keep going? I mean,
yeah, why not?
Why not? There's no reason not to. Actually, he's going to pop Destiny here, which goes to just show where all the Millenium players are. That turret is going to fall. And actually, Millenium going to go for this fight here. Are they going to be able to get in on time? There is the culling coming out. 0-0 still tanking up the front line and actually goes through, but it's Kirk that's been a bit of a trouble for them. They do finally drop Kirk, but the Requiem is going to come through. Not enough to find any kills for them. And NIP have managed to get through that one constantly. Okay, then they did get Freeze in the end, but the fact is that Nukdog has pushed all the way through, took down the inhib, was already working on the Nexus turrets. They knew they had to go for this one. Now they're going to get some extra style points at the end, but the Nexus is going to fall, and NIP pick up one game and move a step closer to the LCS.
Very, very dominant performance by NIP. Full control of the enemy jungle from the start. Got the first blue buff, got all the next blue buffs. I believe one of them went over to Curb after like 25 minutes.